Everybody look at the snow in the yard.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Media Buff Guys, the podcast about anything and everything media related. I'm your host, Ed, and today I'm doing another solo episode, which I'm dubbing Gift Tips for Gamers. With the holiday season right around the corner, I figured I'd share a couple of maybe do's and don'ts if you're getting a gift for a gamer, especially if you yourself don't know much about games. So hopefully these will help you out in that regard on getting the best gift possible for the individual. This will actually be our last episode of the year. I will post another one on the 24th of December, but it'll probably be just a tangent talk. So me and the fellas will be back with more episodes come next year. So hopefully you all have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. Now, before I continue, I wanted to talk about our previous episode. If you listened to it, we talked about the closure of Gundam Evolution or its end. And we also had a giveaway in that episode. Basically, I don't know if the rules kind of didn't make sense or if somebody didn't really get the premise of it, because we did get a lot of hits. We just didn't get anybody fully participate. It was for you to comment, like, and subscribe. It looks like we literally only had one person comment on my YouTube page, none on my Spotify account. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of go from that one and just see if we can do it again. This time I'm going to sweeten the pot with 2 Target gift cards, $10 worth. So in order for you to enter to win, all you have to do is be subscribed to either my YouTube page at Engineered Productions or our Spotify account at The Media Buff Guys. You have to like that episode. And on the comment section on my YouTube page, all you have to do is hit like and subscribe and comment that you did so. And you can leave a comment on your own as well or what you thought of the episode. And on the Spotify, I will go ahead and leave the option for you to also do the same. All you have to do is comment saying that you're following us on my YouTube or on the Spotify account, that you like the episode, and that you want to be entered to a chance to win the Target gift cards. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and kick off the episode. I'm going to do 10 tips. Starting at number 10, I feel like this should be kind of done for just gifts in general, not just if you're buying a gift for a gamer. But I feel you should always get a gift receipt, simply because let's say you're buying something for a child. You can give the receipt to a parent, and let's say that the child doesn't like it, or he doesn't have that console, or he doesn't play those kind of games, or they don't let him play those kind of games. They can always exchange it. Some places do 30-day exchanges, some less, but you can kind of always make a fuss. Let's say you're getting it for an individual who's older. Let's say they don't really want the gift, or they kind of wanted something else. That just gives them the option to explore something else. And you still technically giving them a gift, because they are gonna get something they want that you technically paid for. Tip number 9. Now this is if you're buying a console for, let's say, a child, whether it's a niece, a nephew, or one of your own kids if you have any, or if you're getting someone who's not too tech savvy. One thing I would recommend is that you yourself, when you purchase the console, you set it up before gifting it to them, because let's say it's Christmas Day, the kid opens the console, he or she is super excited, they want to play it right then and there. It takes about an hour nowadays to set up a console, simply because there's either an update that needs to be added, or because you need to install a couple of software for some reason. Either way, if you do that beforehand, before you gift the item to the individual, it'll definitely save a lot of time, and they can start playing it right away. It works well if you're buying a kid a console, or let's say you're buying someone a PC. Let's say you get them the Steam Deck. Those all need to be updated and have things installed. So that's definitely a tip I feel like people, if you're buying something for a gamer, you should definitely do. Okay, at number 8, this is also kind of console related. Let's say you're planning to purchase a video game for an individual. Please, oh please, oh please find out the specific console that that person has before you buy it, because not all consoles play all games, and it is gotten so complicated, mostly on the Xbox side, that you have to be very, very astute on what type of game will run on what type of console. For instance, the Xbox, at this point, I think there's like 3 major versions. You know, you have the core console, the One S, the digital version that, you know, can only download games, you can't play physical. Then you go up to the higher end ones, which is the Xbox Series X, or One X, I mean, which only plays Series X games. And then you have Xboxes that can only play Xbox One games. It's gotten to a point where it's so convoluted that even, you know, someone as me who plays video games and has owned pretty much every Xbox, it gets a little confusing. And nowadays, they even have games called cross play, and it actually says on the box, and basically it means that it'll play on all consoles from all generations. But there's now games that will say that it only plays specific consoles. This PlayStation is easy because, you know, PS5 and PS4, almost all PS4 games work on the PS5, but no PS5 game will work on the PS4. I don't care what people say or what rumors are out there. Nintendo only has a Switch now, so you don't have to worry about that. Before, you know, it was the Wii U and the Wii. It's gotten pretty complicated on buying just a game for the person, but if you find out it's specifically what it is, you can always go to the counter and ask, like, hey, I'm looking for this game for this console, but just be super specific, because even the retail guy will probably ask him, like, okay, which Xbox? The One S, what Series X, Xbox Series, Digital Series, or S Series? It's crazy. At number 7, this kind of also pertains to buying a specific game for a specific console, but more for on the PC side. Try to find out the capacity and the capabilities of the individual who you're buying the game for, if they own a PC. Nowadays, most PC games are digital. That you give them a code and they download it, but not all PCs can play all games. It's gotten a lot better before. There used to be a saying that, you know, you knew somebody had a good PC if it could run Crysis. That was a saying, like, can it run Crysis? That's how you knew it was a good PC. But now most PCs can run a lot of things if you put them on, like, low setting. But even then, some PCs have their limits. The PC has to have a specific amount of RAM to even install the game, or it has to have a specific GPU to run the game. Some will even let you still install it, but it'll run on really low settings, or it'll look really crappy. For instance, I have a laptop that has a 1060 GPU, which is like ancient, considered ancient nowadays. It's like from 2019, and it can still run a lot of games fairly well. Like, it can run Control, that's a high demanding PC game. I can run it on low to mid settings. But yeah, again, if you can find out the kind of rig the individual you're buying the game for, it'll definitely help. And almost every game you purchase, even if it's online or it's a digital card, it'll actually have the specifications of the minimum requirements, meaning that it'll run just not that good on the PC, so long as it has those specs. Okay, tip number 6. This pertains more to digital currency, more pertaining towards currency they can use in the console or in game. Not all digital currencies are the same. For instance, you can only get PlayStation currency through the PlayStation cards, and Xbox currency through the Xbox digital cards, and Steam cards only work for Steam or PC purchases. But then you have other currencies that are within the game that only work for that game, but are still also locked with the specific console. And I know it sounds crazy, and trust me, it is. For instance, V-Bucks, you can purchase it and you can redeem it on any console, so long as the person has access to the account via Epic or the Fortnite website. Let's say you get them a gift card and they try to redeem it on the PlayStation Store, it won't work. Same thing if you try to redeem it on the Xbox or the Steam website, it won't work. They have to go specifically to that website, and it usually has rules, but a lot of people don't instructions on how to redeem it, but people don't really follow it. But it's always best to just find out how to redeem those points, and basically show that when you're buying it for the individual, just kind of keep in mind, like, okay, if I buy them this specific currency, are they going to know how to buy it or redeem it, or are they going to need something a little easier? What a lot of people do nowadays, since a lot of games are played on all platforms, console, PC, and even mobile, they'll buy the currency pertaining to the device the person uses the most, because you can still use the currency that you purchased for that, but then use that currency to purchase the currency for the game you're looking to get points for. And again, I know it's crazy. The same thing can be said with like Roblox. I want to say League of Legends has its own currency. I know Pokemon Go has its own currency. And even games that are both on mobile and console, like Call of Duty, you need to buy specific currency for the different ones. You can't buy the same currency and try to use it on both ends. It's gotten crazy. But yeah, definitely before you buy that digital card, just make sure, just kind of see how hard it would be for the person you're buying it for, especially if it's a kid, kind of how hard it'll be for them to redeem it. And the best route is you just get it for that console that they use it on, and it'll be a little easier that way. Okay, at number 5, this pertains to, let's say you're buying video game theme merchandise for the person. Let's say you're buying clothing or little toys or accessories. Kind of find out what the game they like. Don't just, if you see something in the store and it's cute and maybe you've seen a picture on their wall, don't just get that and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, I saw this on your wall and I thought you might like it. That's not always the case. Franchises, video game franchises have multiple characters. Sometimes the person might like one specific character and dislike another character. I've had people tell me that they don't like All Might from My Hero Academia, but they love Todoroki and Bakugo. So, for instance, if you get something, My Hero Academia related and it's All Might, even though they like that show, that doesn't mean they like that character. So it does help that you kind of find out the specific character or what character belongs to that, game or anime franchise that will really get them excited about seeing that. 9 out of 10 times, I usually recommend, a shirt or just something that has the name of the thing they like. Like if they're fans of One Piece, just put One Piece on it. There's video games of it, so it could be related to that. Or you can always get them some accessories like socks or even a hat. Either way, it always just takes 2 seconds. You can go on their social media, see what they talk about, or if it's a child, ask the parents, and then you can get something. And it doesn't have to be 100% related to that franchise. It could be something with the theme of the franchise. Like I've seen Hello Kitties made with Gundam themes. I've seen Pokemon dressed as anime characters. It gets pretty crazy, but if you really put in the thought and you really look into it, you'll be able to find something that the individual will like. Okay, at number 4, this one is pertaining more if you have a child or if you're buying something for a child. Before you buy them a game, if it's, depending on their age range, if it's an M-rated game, maybe check with either, if you're buying it for a child that's not yours, maybe check with the parents first. Or if you're buying it for your child, maybe check just how mature that game can be. I know I can say that, I let my boy play mature games, but there's limits. For instance, I will let him play Mortal Kombat. I know I'm a terrible parent, but I will not let him play Grand Theft Auto. Both rated M games, both out of his age range. I shouldn't be letting him play. I know, please don't call CPS on me. But at the same time, I kind of know the limits of what I feel my kid can understand. He knows that in violent games, it's not real, it's fake. He knows that that's not really happening, but he understands that is something that can happen and is bad. I do let him play Call of Duty, but he knows that shooting someone is bad. Again, I let him play Mortal Kombat, but he knows that ripping somebody's spine out is bad. And if you're buying it for your kids and you want to let them play, games that contain nudity or drug use and stuff like that, like The Witcher, maybe explain to them, or maybe kind of just tell them like, hey, like you can play this game, but please don't do these missions, or don't do this. I used to work at GameStop. Well, I still kind of do, but it's mostly as an auxiliary. And I've had parents buy Grand Theft Auto, and when we explain to them like, hey, this is a very M-rated game. This is, has sexuality and drug use and all that. And the parents will go like, oh yeah, but they don't play those parts. I'm like, okay, I mean, to each his own. At the end of the day, you know what's best for your child. So, judge's call. But let's say you're buying it for someone else and it's somebody else's kid, maybe check in with them like, hey, like I know I've seen your son or your daughter play Call of Duty. It's okay if I get them this Call of Duty game, or like is it okay if I get them this M-rated game, or basically anything that's not in their age range. Just check with them before you do, and it'll definitely save a headache right there. Okay, coming on to the final 3 for this tip. Let's say you're buying a game for someone who likes sports games, right? Now, one would think that all you really need to do is buy the game that pertains to the sport that the person likes to play. But as crazy as it sounds, there's a little more nuance to it. For instance, let's say the person likes NBA or Madden or NHL or soccer. All you really need to do is buy the game of that year, correct? Now, for those who don't know, every year certain sports games come out with a new title, whether it's Madden 20-something, NHL 20-something, even WWE has a line of games that they release every year, and they number them. So, for instance, the latest one, you would think, especially at the time of this recording, it would be 2023. Well, you would actually be wrong. And working at GameStop, I saw this happen more than I was surprised to see. Let's say you buy the person 2023 without realizing that the 2024 edition actually had already come out maybe 2-3 months prior for that. And that's what happens with sports games. Sports games, the newest title almost always comes out 3 to 4 months before the year ends that is preceding. So, for instance, Madden 2024 actually released in September, I think. So, if you want to get a sports gaming fan the latest edition of that game, you would have to try and wait till that game comes out. At least 3 to 4 months is the rule of thumb. And it's crazy. It sounds they're not the only ones that do that. Vehicle companies do the same. That's why you see certain cars selling at certain times of the year. But yeah, if you're getting a sports game for a sports fan, definitely make sure you're getting the most recent one. Even if you're getting that particular year, chances are the latest one has already dropped or will be dropping within that year, before that year even ends. All right, coming at number 2, this is more of a thrifty type of tip. If you're trying to get gifts for as many people as you can, but you don't want to break the bank, as crazy as it sounds, waiting almost to the last minute is usually the best idea, simply because a lot of companies almost always have some of their best sales like about a week before the holiday season. GameStop almost always has a sale that they discount their games heavily. Best Buy as well. Heck, even Amazon. And this is way after Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So as crazy as it sounds, if you're shopping for a gamer, waiting almost to the last minute is not the worst thing to do, simply because the deals are almost always way better than you can get anytime during the year. And on top of that is usually for like brand new titles or brand new peripherals like controllers. Right now you can get controllers on half off in certain websites. Even brand new games that came out this year are already half off. So if you want to buy stuff for gamers so you don't want to break the bank, waiting almost to the last minute, maybe a week, maybe 10 days before the holidays hits, before Christmas Eve hits or Christmas hits, that would be the best time to shop for them. Okay, so for this last tip, not only is it great for gamers, I feel like this is something everybody should do when buying any piece of electronic, and that is to always, and I mean always, well, not always, but 90% of the time, buy the warranty for that item. Whether it's a console, a controller, a headset, Even something like the camera, if you have a PlayStation and you need the camera for VR or whatever, even keyboards and monitors, always get the warranty. And I know a lot of people are gonna argue, like, well, a lot of these items come with factory warranty, and yeah, they do. But getting a factory warranty redemption is probably one of the most hectic, annoying, and lengthy processes you can ever imagine, because for one, you have to notify the manufacturer, tell them like, hey, your item broke, the item broke. Two, that you have to wait for them to get back to you and then tell you what to do, which usually involves you having to ship the item to who knows where, and all they do is fix the item. They don't replace it. Well, some places do, but they don't fully replace it. They'll replace a component or they'll fix something, and then they ship it back to you. The whole process can take up to 90 days. And if you don't believe me, ask anybody who's owned an Xbox 360 with that red ring of death, or ask anybody who has used that factory warranty. When you buy a warranty with the store you purchase it at, it is almost always a replacement warranty, meaning that you take the item you purchase, you show them that it has a warranty, and they will replace that item. Even if they don't have it in stock, they can order it for you and ship it to you, which takes about a week, maybe a month at the latest. Or they even let you get something of lesser or equal or lesser value. Now, some places aren't as good. For instance, GameStop, they'll only do a used replacement, which means that even if you bought the item new, they'll replace it with a used one, which really sucks because they used to have a really good warranty. Like, I would abuse that system, and you can ask my wife about it. My son, he broke 2 Xboxes, 3 Switches, I believe. All of them replaced. All I had to do was buy the warranty on top of that, just in the event that he, would break them again. I actually stopped doing that because I realized I was setting a bad example, that, he would break something, I would have it replaced easily. And I finally stopped putting warranties on his console, simply so he learns that, hey, if you break it, that's it. But if you're buying something for a kid, or if you're buying someone who's a bit of a klutz, that extra $30-$50 can save a lot of money down the line. And let's say you don't even need to replace the item. Before the warranty expires, you can still have the item replaced. A lot of places don't even ask questions like, oh, what's wrong with it? Why are you doing a replacement? They don't care. They know that they're probably going to get another warranty on top of that, so they're more than willing to do the switch. You're getting a new console out of it. And again, I abused the hell out of that. I got maybe 4 PS4 replaced just because, at least 3 Xboxes replaced just because. I had 2 Switches replaced just because. There was nothing wrong with them. I just knew the warranty was getting expired. So I use the terms and services. I abuse the terms and services. And if anybody who works at GameStop or Best Buy or Walmart is listening, they'll be like, oh, it's so nice to know. Either way, always get a warranty for, any electronic you're buying, whether it's for you, whether it's for a loved one, for a gamer. This is probably the best tip I can offer because it just saves so much money down the line. And it does give you peace of mind. And they're almost always very easy to enact and have it, fulfilled. Other than that, unless you're willing to shell $300, $500 every time something breaks, because things break, that's your prerogative, more power to you. But yeah, that's definitely my number one tip if you're shopping for a gamer. I feel like this one actually applies to pretty much anyone in general, but definitely keep that one in mind. So there you have it. Those are my top 10 tips when shopping for a gamer. At the end of the day, if you're gifting something and it's from the heart, I'm pretty sure the individual will appreciate it. I've gotten a lot of gifts from my wife that are game related. I still have more for sentimental value. But at the end of the day, gamers, maybe they're not the easiest to shop for. I've heard that expression and I kind of agree with it. But at least with, this information I shared, it might make it a little easier for you. So that's that episode. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in again December 24th if you have the time. It'll just be a tangent talk. If you've listened to those segments before, it's just me and the guys just gabbing about random nonsense, completely unfiltered and raw. Other than that, thank you to those who are constant listening and subscribed. We definitely appreciate the support, and we will talk to you next year with a brand new list of idiotic ideas that just come to the top of our heads. I almost forgot, just to reiterate about the giveaway for this December. Like, subscribe, and comment if you're listening on YouTube. On Spotify, I will leave a comment section so you can do the same. All you really have to do is put target giveaway and that you liked and subscribed to the channels. And we will go ahead and announce the winner come December 24th. So, again, thanks for listening, and y'all have a pleasant rest of your year.
La 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 la. Look at the bells, look at the bells. Holy crap, here comes Jesus, and he doesn't look too happy. Merry Christmas, everyone.